Hi golfers, Nick here from American Golf. I'm down at the Aintree store today, and today I'm reviewing the new Titleist 718 AP1. So this is Titleist's game improvement iron. It's their most forgiving and longest iron they've made. I think Titleist always do a good job. Every model they produce always makes an improvement on the previous model. Taking a look at it, first of all, it does look really smart. I do prefer the look of this from the previous models that they've made, so it'd be interesting to see what it's like in performance. But just to take a look at some of the technology, they've increased the MOI, they've lowered the centre of gravity, which means they can lower the loft. So they've lowered it to 30 degrees, but it still launches due to the performance of this club. So I'm expecting some long distances and hopefully some consistent shots. So in terms of shafts, Titleist have gone for the True Temper AMT shafts, which is the ascending mass technology, which means the heavier shafts are in the lower irons and the lighter shafts are in the longer irons, which just helps with launch and spin. I'm going to be using the Tour White, which is their lower launching shaft that they have. They've also got a black and a red. The red is sort of the high launching and the black is sort of the mid launching. So I'm going to be using it in the white, in the S300, standard length and lives, which is what I use. So I'm going to be hitting some shots today. I'm going to hit some shots out the centre, and as I do with these game improvement clubs, I'll hit some out the toe and I'll hit some out the heel just to give you an idea on performance. I'm also going to grade the club on the looks and the feel and also the price. So let's give it a go. Okay, so Titleist 718 AP1, like I said before, looks really nice. Sit behind the ball, obviously a game improvement line, so expecting it to have a thicker top line, but sort of the way designed it, I think it's really smart. So we've got Strixon Z-Star golf balls, trackman set up. We're going to hit 3 shots, try and hit these as central as possible. So I've got the tape on there just to measure that. So 3 centre strikes first of all. Okay, felt pretty good. Looks quite high flight. Expecting about 160-ish. Yeah, 157. Good strike that one. 2 more. Felt really good actually. It was really solid. Nice flight again. Good strike. 161 carry. So it's about what I'm expecting. So for 7-iron, 30 degrees, they've designed this well with the tungsten to still launch the ball. So one more. Not quite as good a strike that one. I'll show you on the face tape in a second. So that dropped down a little bit, 156.7. So if you look on the strike tape there, so the last one was a little bit more, slightly more towards the heel, but other than that, pretty good strike. So they're the centre strikes. We're going to move on now and hit 3 out the toe, then the heel. So pretty good performance with the centre strikes there. So I've got a fresh bit of tape on. Try and hit these out the toe now. So same swing, we're just going to hit them out the toe, see how these perform, expecting drop off in distance and probably starting out more to the right. So let's give it its best shot I can. Still feel really good actually. You can see on the tape there, definitely towards the toe. Maybe it's not as much as I'd like. Still 159.8. So good distance. Slightly towards the toe. Let's try and get one a bit more towards the toe. Nice flight. That felt good. Okay. Again, felt pretty good. Similar strike again. Definitely towards the toe, almost exactly the same distance that time, 159. Let's try and get one more bit further towards the toe. Feel pretty good though. Oh, that's definitely off the toe, that. Almost missed it. Okay, 151, way off to the right. So you can see, we can look at those stats later, see where they've struck those. So first 2 were just slightly from the toe, they felt really good. And then that one there, face was way open, hit that way off the toe. So you can see that drop down there, 151, went way out to the right as well. Okay, so next time I'm going to try and hit these at the heel without shanking them if I can. So you saw there, one way off the toe went way to the right there, but the other two were pretty good. So let's see what happens when you hit out the heel. So expecting this again, less distance, probably more to the left this time. Went up to the right. Out the heel though. Drop off a distance there, 144.8. Clubhead speed was slightly down there. I'm trying to get this out the heel, sorry. It's not easy. Trying to get, hard to swing at its normal speed, but let's try best I can. Got really healing, very similar result, almost identical contact. Again, same sort of distance, so consistent when you get this ball in the same part of the face, which I guess is really important. These are way out the heel, by the way. Okay, so let's go one more. A little bit more to the left that. Again, quite far towards the heels. I'm going to show that now. 149, so obviously drop off in distance there. You can see my heel strikes way out to the heel. So it still gets the distance. So let's sit down now and take a look at some of that stats in a bit more detail. So you've seen me hit a few shots there with the AP1 on the trackman. Before we take a look at the performance of the club, I'm just going to give you a grade on what I think of the looks and the feel. So for a game improvement iron, I have to say it looks great. I do prefer the look of more of a classic sort of blade. So it's hard for me to give this a really high grade out of 10, but I think I'll give it 7. The feel I thought was pretty good as well. I do prefer the look of more of a blade, but saying that for a game improvement iron, it's definitely one of the best looking that I've seen. So 7 out of 10 for a game improvement iron is a pretty good grade on looks and feel. So you saw me hit a few shots there. We're going to take a look at the results. So you can see on my laptop here, I've got the different strike patterns. So the one in the middle is the centre. That one was off the heel. Obviously I tried to get it off the heel as much as possible. In fact, I did. The heel shots were pretty close to the heel. It was the toe ones that didn't quite get off the toe. That's obviously my technique. You can see I hit it slightly out the heel when I tried to hit it off the centre. The ones off the toe, I hit 3 shots. One of them was really low toe. When you saw the result, I think that was the third one I hit. Wasn't a very good shot at all. But taking a look first of all at the centre strikes, 120 miles an hour ball speed is quite a lot for me. I'm looking at the distances and I'm seeing 158 carry. That's not very far, but the spin rate was really high on that particular testing session, over 9,000, and that's a little bit higher than what I would normally expect. So for a trackman indoors, possibly that's the numbers there. That's probably why the distance wasn't so high. But in terms of the dispersion, you look at the 3 shots I hit there at the centre, very tight, trajectory very good as well. So actual performance out the centre shots I was really impressed with. Obviously the spin rate, that could just be to do with the trackman being indoors, so it's hard for me to mark it down for that, but in terms of performance, really impressed with the centre strikes. So we moved on and we looked at the toe strikes, and obviously we had that one that sort of scooted off way to the right, second or third shot I hit, but that was really low toe. And it still got out there in terms of distance, it just obviously went off way to the right. The other 2 shots I hit off the toe probably weren't quite as far off the toe as I tried. Obviously the whole point of me doing this test is to try and test these off-centre hits, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea on how these clubs perform. So obviously you can see more towards the toe than the centre. So in terms of distances or speed here, 118.7, so a little bit of a drop off in ball speed, which is what you'd expect. Obviously it could have been a bit more of a drop off if I hit them more towards the toe, but I tried my best there to hit them off the toe. So obviously I was impressed with the 2 that were slight toe. They felt really good as well. It was just that one really low toe just went way off to the right. So I think with any club that's going to happen. So moving on, we take a look at the heel strikes. 111 ball speed, so you can see I hit these all off the heel, so really close to the hosel. Don't know how I managed that without shanking it, but 111 ball speed, so almost 10 miles an hour drop off, which you'll kind of expect. In terms of distance wise, just over 10 yards distance drop off with the heel strikes. In terms of consistency, looking at the dispersion, pretty good, and the actual trajectory pretty good. So it does perform on these off-centre hits. Obviously if you hit it really way off the toe or way off the heel, you're not going to get the performance out of any golf club. But in terms of this golf club, pretty good. So in terms of performance, I'm going to have to ignore that 9,000 spin rates. That's a little bit too high. I don't think that's how I'd normally hit it outside on the course. So taking that into consideration, I'm going to have to give this 8 out of 10 for performance. So really impressed with the 718 AP1. Finally, we take a look at the price. And as I do with all these clubs, I take a look at the price. I think I get a lot of messages on here where people will say, obviously it's the best club, it's the most expensive. So I will grade each of these clubs moving forward on their price. So for a steel shafted AP1, and this is retail price at American Golf at the time of launch, so October 2017, £107 per club. So you're looking at a set of 7 clubs, so whether that's 5 to sand wedge, 4 to pitching wedge, which is sort of an average set these days, you're looking at 749, and that's with free custom fit as well. So 749 is pretty good for one of the best brands, I think, one of the best clubs out on the market. So for that reason, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 for price. So overall, Titleist 718 AP1 is 23 out of 30, which is quite high for a game improvement club. I thought I was really impressed with the Titleist AP1. So it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts. If you tried this club, what you think of it. I was pretty impressed. So I'm looking forward to testing AP2 and AP3 moving forward. So golf, if you've got any questions, post them in the box below. And if you want to come down to American Golf here at Aintree, you've got a great facility, or any American Golf will be happy to help you out.